Hello everyone, my name is David and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Woo! As you can see, I have not uploaded very often recently, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But first, we're gonna have a little tour of my new testing world. This is sort of, well, if you couldn't tell by the title alone, it's sort of meant to be a parallel to my first ever video, which I do not recommend anyone watches anymore. I've certainly improved much since then. My voice has matured, gotten deeper and stronger. But I also feel that it's fitting to do this, seeing as I haven't been active recently, and while it's not necessarily a beginning to an end sort of situation, we'll talk about it later. That's what I did in my first video, which I frankly think is kinda silly now, but I don't know, I want to stay true to my original intentions, you know? Just one more time. So with that all said, let's begin the tour. Now, unfortunately, this is not the original testing world that I did for my first ever video. It is a new one. I honestly don't really remember because it's been a while, but I wasn't able to save it, unfortunately, so all the original builds that were bad but were important to my process are no longer here. But this is sort of the central square of the area. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest, with how far it spans. Granted, it's nothing compared to, like, Korean's world or something. I'm sure that's much larger, but he's also had much more experience than me and is still actively playing Minecraft to this day. So is it a worthy comparison? Probably not, and yet I just brought it up anyways. So yeah, this is me testing out floor palettes. I believe this was for my nomadic survival world. Honestly, when in doubt, probably for nomadic survival. As I know, this area definitely was for nomadic survival. Just a nice little kitchen area to hang out and eat food. And I saw like the knife here and I was like, ah, genius decoration. As well as all of these stands and things going on. Honestly, I think it looks pretty nice. Pretty unique with the ceiling ideas and such. I'm gonna see if I can do this in the order of events. Probably not very well. But I know this was the house that I made in Endercraft Season 3. I really loved this house. It was, it's a good house. It was built into the wall in the sand biome, and it's where I ended up spending most of my time. I completed the main base, but it was an arduous process, shall we say. It took quite a long time. I see I didn't really decorate it in the test world very much, but, it's not the largest place, but I spent a lot of time here, and I appreciate looking back on it. However, the original intended final base area is this area just over here. I planned it out with how large the ceiling was. In retrospect, I should have made it larger, but considering I was mining out a giant hole without any fancy Java speed mining stuff... Ooh, lightning. But just considering that, and that I had very slow internet and was on mobile at the time, it was quite a feat making it a large enough area to include the main building in here, as well as these side houses that I also came up with. It was a lot for me at the time, and I spent a lot of time working on it. Even if I didn't get to fully live in this space, I absolutely adore the way that this is decorated. I'm still kind of proud of, to be honest, the blocks that I used, and just everything that was done here. Even have enchanting tables. I'm so greedy. I had 2. And then the row of chest areas, the E for explorer. Purple is a good color. You may not be able to tell that by looking at this, but I had a purple skin at one point. What am I talking about? And then while I was simultaneously working on this large area, I was also creating something in the new spawn area. This was my first time practicing making a mountain, and you may notice that it kinda sucks. It doesn't look that good, it's just kind of a wonky hill thing. So I eventually learned in this next practice attempt that you really need to be a bit more steep with what you're doing. I mean, even this one isn't the best, but it's far better, more purposeful than that little thing. Because this is going to be intended to be my parkour minigame. Got gates and safety so mobs don't kill everybody. But yeah, this is what I made. It's honestly, well, it's not a perfect interior design, and I didn't actually end up making it this far, unfortunately, in the actual thing. But you can see I planned out the whole parkour course and all of the jumps here. And I guess let's see if I can do it right now. Yeah. The only problem with doing this is that I'm really not the best at multitasking, and I fell. So I'm probably gonna just kind of go silent here, which isn't ideal when I am trying to be entertaining, and but I'm bad at parkour. But oh my goodness. But we're reminiscing on memories here. I'm gonna get to the top. It's just gonna take multiple minutes. I mean, could I cheat and fly through the whole thing? Sure, but I have integrity. Then again, I do want to finish this eventually. And I see this is where the parts are getting harder. I started slipping in some ice here to extend your jump, or also make you fall down. Okay, we made it back to the ice, and I fell down immediately. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of bad. But eventually, by making it to this point, totally without cheating, you get to this, which I'm going to shift for so I don't fall off and die. And I guess I spoke too soon. But eventually you make it to this rod, and then you jump. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. I forgot about my own tricks. There's a little friend here. You need to go out. See, there we go. I forgot the evil genius of my own design. Would you look at that? That proves how long it's been since I've done this parkour thing, to be honest. It's been too long. But eventually, you reach this one, and having learned of the lantern trick, you jump right here, and you make it up the ladder, and that's the end. You made it to the top. You earn a diamond, or get to a little shop area. My plan never really reached fruition here, but it was a fun concept. Just certainly not something I can complete. Ah, yes, and now we have stuff relating to Endercraft Season 4. I really love that series a lot. This is just a bridge idea I made. I don't know if it's actually an Endercraft bridge, but I made a bridge. I even added water. There's the proof. But then this is the area to me and B.O.B.'s house, and I absolutely love this. This doesn't necessarily, it's not exactly the same as our place, but this was just me sort of generating ideas, and I really fell in love with this, with the supports and just the really textured mountain that sprawls outwards again, leaving a nice space on top. And I believe, yeah, over here, this one was just me practicing making modern houses because I do not know what I'm doing for these sorts of things, and it came out alright. I got beach chairs and sunbathing, flowers. I got the details. It's just the interior that's a mess. But who the heck cares about the interior, am I right? But then he gets the actual design, which I think is pretty fun. It's a bit chaotic. We got a bunch of different. For being a modern house, I feel like it's quite colorful. We got the driveway, and leading up to the indoors, there's a trader. What do you have for me today? Oh, they're dead? And you just left the llamas behind? That's lovely. Seeing how wacky it was, I'm not really sure how I managed to find an interior that was semi-cohesive, but I did. Have a basement downstairs that is not able to be completed since it's a flat world, but I did my best. Like, we got an aquarium where I guess all the fish died. And then we have the bedding area and lounge zone, and then there's the actual bedding area. And then there's the other bedding area. It's honestly not the most functional house, but I gotta say, in the Endercraft world, it looked very good from a distance. Next on the list, I'm trying to keep it sort of in order, but honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. But next on the list is the practice idea of the little wizard's house sort of thing that I made when we were redoing the Endercraft Season 4 village area. It honestly, looking at it now, it doesn't have the strongest foundation. But it's definitely a fun, quirky little spirally tower thing, and I mean, hey, it's not something amazing like what Good Times with Scar would have, but then again, we're not the same person, and it's not functional in the slightest, but I had fun. And then there are the layers of the new and improved Central Marketplace Tower Zone in Undercraft Season 4. It always bugged me that no one had finished it, so I decided to just take matters into my own hands. And this was my idea for the exterior. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I did not have any plans for the interior. I just put it together and was like, yep, this is the new redstone layer, and this will be the glorious top zone where we have the sun and the light and clouds, and it transitions sunset way into the moon, the night, the darkness. I definitely think I did a good job here. Like, it's not the most amazing thing ever, and it looks a bit funky on the inside, but like, exterior wise, it looks pretty good. And then we have the. Now it looks honestly a bit bizarre to me, but like the area house spot surrounding the Ender Pearl, the Ender Portal, the End Portal in Endercraft Season 4. I definitely think it's an interesting way I went about it with like the different types of roofs and textures that are all combining together here. I just don't really know if it works that well now, to be honest, but like, I did use the end blocks and stuff from the nether. It's not the worst thing in the world. It looks fine. I mean, it's certainly cool from the inside with all the end stuff here. Maybe I could have gone for a more green theme, though, in retrospect, with how the end portal looks. But I definitely like it, and was proud of it at the time. Next was a planned greenhouse that I'm pretty sure never happened. Even so, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out this wacky sort of tent design thing and figuring out how the glass might look here. I never made anything with it because it was just honestly a bit too difficult, and I was trying to work with different glass types coming together, and it did not work very well. Which is unfortunate with all the time I spent on this. It's certainly better than my first draft, but not good enough for a final draft either, I would say. Now this area over here was actually my first test draft design for what would be a wood shop on the new Endercraft SMP, because, everyone needs wood, and, like, we were back for some of the Endercraft things, and I was just testing out ideas, and I figured, hey, why not try to come up with something that, like, uses all of the wood types? That would be cool. And it's definitely an interesting concept, but in practice it just feels kind of jarring and off, and like it doesn't make that much sense, so I scrapped it. Especially because it's also very flammable, like someone could just show up with a flint and steel and I'd be dead. So naturally, for the next design I used zero wood. I thought, but just the idea that I shared with Ellie, and we were gonna make this whole wood shop area that was like nether themed, and it was gonna be super cool, and I'm glad she found the idea appealing. And I did start to work on it, it just unfortunately was at a time where most people were no longer active on the server. It's honestly a tragedy that that's how most SMPs go, but it's how it went here as well. And I definitely think the design's pretty interesting. Not my greatest work ever. This sort of comes together a bit weirdly. I don't know why I didn't keep that going down. But it's definitely unique design and idea, and I just love the fact we just have this big, dark, nether-themed shop, and it's like, here's where you get your wood. I mean, the whole idea behind it was that it was anti the establishment idea of a wood shop. That part I do still enjoy. And oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't address the elephant in the room. This giant monstrosity right here, which the goal of this was to cover up the giant end portal inside, not end portal, nether portal inside for the Pigman farm in Endercraft Season 4. This took so long to make. It is, well, the worst part is not even the most beautiful looking thing ever. Like, it definitely looks good. I like all of these big window things I had that would give you a sneak peek to what's going on in the portal. I think that the blue going with the red, it's not the best choice ever, but, like, it kind of works, and it definitely adds interesting contrast to the building. it just took a very long time. It's a tall and skinny building, what can I say? But I mean, hey, it certainly stands out. Sort of a bit almost over detailed with like this thing going on, but also it's hard to detail nether brick things. Looking at it for more than 2 seconds, no, nostalgia's won me over. I do love this. I tried to create something unique here, and, well, I think I accomplished my goal. And then, yes, the little bakery zone from the Crimzone SMP that only lasted for 4 episodes because this is just what I heard, but apparently, one of the people who was paying for the realm didn't want to pay for it anymore. So the server ended, and that was that. I was kind of upset about it at the time, and kind of embarrassed that I ever dared to participate in something so low that would only last for 4 episodes. How dare they not renew it? But I got over it quickly. And honestly, the server did have problems, like they were kind of letting everyone join, and there's a lot of griefing going on. Not fun, not fun. I built this in the server, and it got griefed, and it's a little upsetting. Like, you got free cookies, just take one, and now there aren't any left because it got griefed. What can I say? But I do think it's a charming little area. You got different baked goods that you can imagine that are here cooking about, and baked beef. That's a baked good, right? But like we got cake and just other sorts of things around. It was definitely fun designing this. I enjoyed it. Got the nice upstairs area. See, look, I even got all the prices planned out. I always thought it was silly, like on watching Hermitcraft, how they had a diamond for a stack of these things. Like, it takes a lot to get these carrots, but then again, I didn't have an automated farm. And then last, but certainly not least, is, well, it's not, no, I wouldn't say least necessarily. It's just a simple little hut area that I stayed in, and I believe I'm currently still located at, in my nomadic survival world. I was hoping to adventure out into the nether, find a place to live there, but then I realized that I don't hate myself, and I'm not going to live in those conditions. But also at the same time, this hut area, it's a decent little place to be, but it's not somewhere you want to end up for the rest of your life. So, when I do make the next episode, I think it is time to move out of here and find a new place to live. Do I know where that's gonna be? Nope, but it's an ever-growing, ever-changing world. Anything can happen. Oh, and I think I almost forgot about this greenhouse area. My bad. This was near the end of the new Endercraft thing. If I recall correctly, it ended quite abruptly, and I was kind of upset because I wanted to be able to give my audience a proper goodbye, and I wanted to have everything I built completed for the world download, and that didn't quite happen, and things were complicated. It was a bit upsetting, to be honest, but we're all good now, but this was the greenhouse area that I never necessarily got to complete. It's quite simple, definitely works better than the big tent over there, and it's got purple, and purple's a good color. I like it, and it works well here, I think. And well, I'm pretty sure that's all for the world tour. Thank you for looking at that if you didn't, but now if I figure out how to do the timestamp things correctly anyways, we should be on where I'm doing the explaining where I've been for the last, like, almost a year, like 11 months. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've uploaded. I always dislike the kind of people where they just uploaded, like, once in a blue moon and they still somehow got views. That was just me being jealous because my channel is small, to be honest. Now I don't really care about that, and now I have became the guy that uploads once in a blue moon and is now like, I'm back a year later, guys, and I'm gonna change and start uploading again. But, nah, I can't really say that. I don't think that's gonna happen. It's summer now, but I've still been busy for the school year, I was busy with school and just prep for college things. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, everyone on YouTube says this, like, college, it takes a lot of time, and it does. I mean, my school offers college classes. I'm not even in college yet, and taking a couple of those, whew, there is rigor involved. Yes, there is. Then now that the school year's done, I actually got a job where I make money that I am saving because adult life is expensive and I need money. And I'm not getting money from YouTube right now. Maybe if I took it like really seriously and tried to find a specific niche I could fill, maybe I could. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Even so, I don't think this channel's gonna be dead or anything like that. I know there are a couple games that will be coming out soon that I 100% want to play on here, or at least like live stream if nothing else. Things such as Deltarune Chapters 3, 4, and 5. I'm so excited! We have no idea when they're going to be released, especially how long it took for Chapters 1 and 2 to come out. But, I was thinking, like, from my experience playing a game like Hollow Knight for the first time, it was definitely a journey learning how things worked, and just thinking back now how I did not know what I was going. I didn't really know what was going on in my first playthrough, and I just kind of went on with the flow of things, and eventually, gradually, over a long period of time, improved and learned new things. And I just think it's fun to look back on the complexities of a very blind playthrough like that. My friend bought me the game and said it was very good and asked me to play it, and naturally I did, and now I loved Hollow Knight, and I'm also very excited for Hollow Knight Silksong to come out, which will be soon. Do we know how soon? No, but like I want them to take their time, but also I want to play that game so desperately. And it's something that I should be able to buy on Steam, which means that I'll be able to play it for all of you. In addition to Deltarune and Silksong, I mean Deltarune especially as well, I want to not be spoiled for and play because Toby Fox is a genius of writing and comedy and humor, and I really wish I would have had this and played Deltarune for the very first time, chapters 1 and 2, on here and live streamed it, because there were some fun moments in those games that I just wish could be documented. And I think I actually am going to start recording and just editing a little bit my playthrough of the game Amori. It's sort of almost like Undertale in a way. Like, my friend told me that, I didn't really get it at first, but now I think I do. And is it technically meant to be like a psychological horror game? Apparently, but honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with it so far as well, and I'm not a horror guy, like, at all. But I've been playing it, and I think I've decided I would like to document the rest of my playthrough. Do I know how many episodes it's gonna be, or how long it's gonna take? It'd be more of an incomplete playthrough type of situation, but it's a fun game, and a lot of things that I think I could have fun reactions to when playing through it. I don't know how much I'm going to be playing Minecraft anymore. It's definitely a fun game, and it's something that's always going to be in my heart. But I don't know if I just have the time to just mingle about in Minecraft as much now. I guess I'll just have to see. I like playing with my friends, and it's harder to find time to do that now. Minecraft has been the main subject of my channel for a long time, and in my first ever video, I stated my initial intention was to mostly play Minecraft, but also play other games once in a while, spice things up. No matter how much you enjoy something, you're gonna get bored of it once in a while and want to try something new. I think this might be me trying to fulfill the original prophecy I set for myself in this channel, and play something new for a while. I don't know how often I'm gonna be uploading, or if at all, to be honest. But I have ideas and things I'd like to try. I just feel bad making promises because I know I likely won't be able to keep them. Especially because, then if you don't keep it, then you feel bad about it later, and then that just is not motivating to play these things and have fun with them, and that's the most important thing, I feel like. Okay, hang on, speaking of, I need a change of scenery. Let's move things around a little bit. Let's go to the tallest point in the world. There we go. Now we can see, everything from up here. Anywho's, just in case anyone is still cares about it, no one probably does, but I'd just like to mention that I am still friends with a lot of the original cast of Endercraft. You know, I've said a couple things today where there have been frustrations and grievances, but really it's just small things that don't matter in the long run. The original server where we all got together on, you know, it went a little bit silent for a while, but it's crouched back up in activity, and not even with my engagement in the chat for the most part, actually. Some of the conversations, like, it's not about Endercraft or Minecraft things specifically, but just people talking to each other, and I think it's great to see, even if it's not necessarily always something that interests me or something that I'll have much to say about. No, we all are still friends here. Like, I still talk to people on occasion, like Techno, and not as much recently, but like still Crimson and Solispo, and then Snappy. I mean, he's basically my online best friend, you know, we didn't talk to each other for a while, but then we just came back and it felt like no time had passed at all. And that feels like an exclusively best friend sort of deal to me. Snappy specifically is having a lot of success in his YouTube channel. He made a new channel. I would love to link it in the description and have everybody watch his videos, because they're really good and entertaining, and I'm feeling a lot of euphoria and proudness for him. I can't imagine how he's feeling with the way things are looking up within his career online on YouTube. You know, what started as a silly little thing has turned into a job for him, and I would love it if that happened for me. It probably won't, but I'll keep ideas in mind. But for now, this channel is kind of dead, to be frank. But I'm hoping to revive it a little bit. I can't promise I'm gonna be anywhere nearly as active as I was during the Endercraft seasons, but I'm still here. And if anyone's watching this who's been a long-time viewer of my channel or something, there probably aren't any left, to be honest, but if there is, I really appreciate you being here. And with that, I think I'm gonna end this video, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!